Yes, yes. Reminisce show. Hey, man. Broadcasting live from the motherland. Different time
Yo,
zone. All game, man. Same way, man. Sankofa. Got to bring back and collect what is being forgotten. You know what I'm saying? Go by Logic, and I'm here with my brother.
Mindbender, yo. I do this every silently because it's Wakanda forever, it's Africa forever, and it's this is from my Malcolm X. But
Oh,
you
man.
a couple countries away from Wakanda right now, yo. Like Namibia is right technically south where the mythical nation of Wakanda would be. I'm so happy you're there, yo. What does it feel like?
Oh, man. Well, this is like my second time coming to the continent, right? So my first time was 2008. And I won like a contest actually. It was for the UN Habitat. They had like a conference that was happening in Durban, South Africa. And long story short, I applied in this contest and basically spoke about the work I do with Stolen from Africa. And I was like one of the 20 delegates that was selected worldwide, um, out of I think like 4,000 submissions or something like that.
Sick.
And and yeah, so I got selected to that, and it was beautiful. So yeah, that took me to Durban, South Africa for about a week time, and what I mean. But what was interesting about that experience, it was a lot of just going from like the airport to like the hotel to the conference center. Though I did meet a lot of amazing people, I didn't really get the cultural experience I was looking for. You know what I mean? So that kind of set the tone off, and to connect back to Africa is just as children of the children of the diaspora. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things that a lot of us don't get the opportunity to do. So I was grateful for that. This time around, it's going to be visiting a few different countries. So right now, we're in Namibia, and we're going to be checking out Botswana, Zimbabwe, as well as South Africa again. So, and going to Joburg. So that's going to be um, really powerful, man. But like I say, like overall, man, the energy here is just great. You know what I'm saying? It feels like home. It feels right. Like it's. I'm trying to find like that. I'm still trying to put the words together, but it just feels like it's like Sankofa. Like that's like the best way that I can put it. It really is like Sankofa.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
you're coming back to what you've always known.
And that's exactly it. It's like this like knowing. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm new here, but I'm not new here. It's a really interesting kind of vibe, and I've been posting quite a bit like on my TikTok account, man. So if anybody wants to follow me over there, I've been doing a lot more of just like reflections and whatnot. And my Namibian brothers and sisters have been really showing up in the comments and just welcome me home. They're like, "Yo, welcome home, brother. We need more like Africans, from the other side to reconnect." And everybody's just open for it. So it's just really powerful to see like that type of connection, and people willing to build. You know what I'm saying? So it's
I love
feeling
it.
feeling good though, but still like a lot to process as well though. But it's just one of those reminders that like this is something that we all need to do for like our soul, for our humanity, and it's just giving us like a stronger purpose for everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man,
Yo,
loving it out here, man. This is Africa, yo. This is Africa.
it's beautiful to see, yo. It's you look like you're in a blessed place, yo.
Oh man,
I remember actually when I actually will never ever forget. It was 2015 when I was in Africa and I was in Ghana, and it was
yes, love
August,
Ghana.
and it was things were just slightly different as far as technology went. I guess it's technically been 10 years since I've been to Africa, so
Mm.
at the time, I actually spent 9 minutes trying to download. I will never, ever forget this. I was spent 9 minutes trying to download the first single from Watch the Throne. Now, Otis, Jay-Z, and Kanye.
Okay, all right, right,
It just dropped, and I was like, I need to hear this. I need it, and like it took me so long to download, but it took like half an hour for it to finally come in. But like, yeah, it was a long, but I was there
right.
right when Watch the Throne dropped, and yeah, like the technology was a little shaky, but yeah, I
Okay,
mean everything was my situation was different. I was in very much rural Ghana, and Yeah, like, is that a hotel? Is that a house? Is that
Yeah, no, it's definitely a hotel. Like it's on like this what's in, I forgot the name of it, but it's we're basically like in the middle of a desert. I'm terrible with like remembering all the names of all the stops they're at right now, but desert, it's like a luxury type of like resort. I'll definitely I'll do like a video in the morning and I'll post that online so folks can see. But it's beautiful. You know what I mean? Like every
oh,
spot that we stayed at, this is like hotel number five, and every spot that we stayed at was just proper, like beautiful.
what?
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
so
You know what I mean? And I think it's really for us, it's like really just to see the flip side to Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's always a particular kind of image, but it's like there's places in Africa that look like Arizona, that look like California. There's so many various like landscapes, out here. So we're definitely getting like the luxury, like experience. Man, shout out Dwayne Morgan and Travel Lead and Colin and everybody who's been organizing this because it's been an incredibly like smooth journey. Um,
dope,
yeah, man, it's been beautiful, beautiful.
dope. So how's the language barriers and stuff? Because you're talking about colonization, so you're seeing some German stuff, but like there's like a lot of English and or like what languages are they speaking there? And yeah, how
Yeah,
is that?
there's like Afrikaan and some other languages, but I mean English is pretty common. At least like on like basic level in terms of communication. But I will say online, um, on my TikTok account and some of the comments that I've been getting from my Namibian brothers and sisters, the English is there, so there doesn't seem to be like a communication barrier, at least that I haven't experienced just yet though. But yeah, I mean, so far things have been pretty smooth, yo. But like I said, I've been receiving like a lot of love online, and I think they've just been really supportive of me just showing love to them. Because what was interesting is like the day that we landed, it was like the last day of Black History Month, and that was when I was just on the news. I was flipping the channels, and I saw on the news that the next day, March 1st, was going to be the funeral for Sam Nuoma, who was their first prime minister, of Namibia, and he was someone who's well celebrated. He was a freedom fighter. He even went into exile for like 30 years against like in the midst of like apartheid in South Africa and kind of protecting like the country for the people. And he's pretty much the one who like spearheaded their independence, which was in 1990. So I made a post about that on on TikTok because I was like, wow, that's crazy that the day that I come here, I'm learning about this like incredible man, this incredible human being who risked his life for his people and who's been celebrated ever since. And his funeral was the next day, and he died at the age of 95, which I thought was just incredible. I got some money right here. This is actually like a picture of him right there. I mean, look at
Amazing.
those pearly whites, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yo, that's a
so
beautiful black man.
that's
Yes,
exactly what
king.
I said,
That's a
man. And
king. What?
King, man, and just learning more about him and what he meant to the people. Because like, I mean, like the city like shut down for this funeral. Roads were blocked off and all these different things, and just to see how much he's been celebrated, and I started thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, like who do we have, what I'm saying, on this on the other side of the fence that emulates that type of like energy. I mean, we do have like entertainers and we have a few people, that do their thing though, but just to see someone who really represented for the people and put his life on the line and wasn't involved in any scandals, and like everybody just like loves him. I'm talking, there's like pictures of him all over like the city, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like in different cities as well, like throughout the country. So for me it was just like really inspiring just to see like a black man celebrated in that capacity. So I made that post on TikTok and it like blew up. It got like 30K, views and 2,000 likes and comments, and everybody was just showing like mad love. Just happy that someone outside of the country is recognizing one of their heroes, and it just felt beautiful. So it just shows me that for people like us who are committed to community, who are committed to like raising consciousness, we have a whole audience and community that's outside of Toronto. And sometimes Toronto, I feel like, can be very limiting
Yeah,
and even discouraging at times. But I'm looking towards the motherland for that kind of validation and connection, and they're looking for us. They're looking for specifically people who are like us, that understand the connections and wanting to learn and wanting to give back. You know what I'm
you're
saying?
right.
So yeah, I just feel like really inspired, and I'm just here to learn. But like I said, yeah, there's definitely some strong colonial energy out here. The history with Germans, and the diamond rush and all these different things. I'm just like, wow, like, yeah, and then you still see like the struggles of our people, right? Because when I was talking to a few people, they're saying that the unemployment rate in Namibia is like 50%. So it's like half the
Whoa,
population is like
whoa,
unemployed. It's like, yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy, right?
wow. So is
So
there
I'm
a lot?
like,
Is there a
okay,
lot of
and then
people like hustling in the streets, like selling food and?
I mean, yeah, like I definitely seen some of that, and certain areas have like crime, of course. These are the symptoms of poverty or whatever. Um, but with all that being said, there's still an energy of pride. There's still like an energy of hope and resilience, and people are still moving forward though. But when I look at what Namibia represents, because learning about like the diamond rush and how much that made a lot of people like wealthy, um, and how that also impacted like the community. I'm just like, okay, I got to sit back and just like breathe a little bit, because it's yeah, like colonization has created such like an interruption in our historical timeline. Like I always think to myself, okay, it's great, okay, people coming from Europe trying to build and create opportunities for themselves, but what if they actually had like integrity? Like, what if they actually came through to be like, you know what, together on something? I'm gonna make my money, you're gonna make your money, we're gonna be blessed. That happened, but it wasn't with Africans. That happened with other like European nations. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
As we know, like the Berlin Conference of like 1884, right? Where they and I made a post about this on my TikTok, where they pretty much divided up Africa. You know what I mean? Like Britain, Spain, Portugal, the Dutch, like you name it. Like, and about like 14 European nations came through to divide Africa and take over the resources. And I always think to
Hmm.
myself, I'm like, wow, man, like what if they actually came with integrity and actually like with a little bit of heart and consideration and find ways to build. I think it would have been like it would have been a different outcome, 100% though. But
I
the
mean,
residue of colonization is
yeah, I
crazy.
mean,
Yeah.
it would we would have echoes. The timeline would be so different. Like we wouldn't have so much massacre and
Oh,
like anti-black hatred and thousands and
yeah.
millions of dead bodies and so many things. But also like on a psychic level, just they wouldn't be afraid of us. The prison system wouldn't. The war on drugs wouldn't exist. Like
Mm.
it would be like, yo, it would be. I mean, to somewhat degree, it would be closer to like Europeans having a relationship and like America and China, where America's like, we like you're an ally and we kind of fear and respect you, but we have not like China has never been colonized by America.
Right,
So
right, right,
you either
right.
have to work with them or ignore them or acknowledge them or negotiate with them on some kind of terms or whatever degree. But like it's not ever somebody that was ever oppressed by them and like and fucking centuries and generations of healing and damage that has to be done before you can even begin to like have a fair business deal.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, 100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like these are just some things that I'm thinking as I'm observing, right? Because we haven't had the opportunity to like really get down into whoops, my phone's going off. In terms of like really embracing like more of like the African black culture here. As yet, we've been doing a bit like the tourist spots and just checking out a few sceneries, and I know that as our trip develops, we're going to get more into that. But just off the like first scan and some of the places that we've been visiting and checking out, there's still like a lot of like divisions. You know what I mean? Like, so when we go to restaurants or even the hotels, like you see who's who are like the servers, and who's in power, who's not. It's like it feels like Jamaica. It's like the same difference. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like it's mm,
I gotta ask, are there a
yeah.
lot of like non-white people there, like Asian, South Asian,
Not
white,
yet. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that here as yet. There's definitely like there's definitely a lot of white folks of I
oh,
guess like
there's white folks there. Okay,
German descent, or kind of like on that kind of vibe.
okay.
Um, and yeah. So I haven't really seen much diversity, and just from off of a first scan, it seems like things are still very segregated. So when we go to like certain restaurants, you see there might be like a table of like black folks in one corner, and then like a bunch of white folks on the other side or whatever, and it's just kind of like, oh, that's interesting, especially as someone like myself coming from Toronto, where it's very common to have like various cultures at one table. You know what I mean? It's normal for us, right? So when I go into these places and I see that, I'm like, wow. So I asked about that. I'm like, do people like interact with each other, like mingle? And the comments was getting, it's like, yeah, kind of, we're still working on it, kind of deal. Like it was a topic that
Wow,
didn't really want to get into. So it
interesting.
just reminded me of like certain parts of the states as well. Certain parts of the states have that kind of energy, um, where there's like tolerance, but there's no actual like integration or like connecting with people.
Yep.
And to experience that in Africa, it's like it's weird, bro. Like it's just weird. It's weird, like knowing all this history and that energy is still there. It's like, and then building with the people and seeing how friendly they are, how their humanity shines. It's like, how could you not want to tap into that? How could you not want to like respect that? Like, why is that something that's feared? You know what I mean? Or something that you don't want to associate with, or seen as like belittling. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it's like, oh, these people are below us. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, they're so kind and beautiful and wonderful. We have to exploit it. Like, what is the
yeah,
flaw in your moral system to even to not be like, this is, we can learn from this. We should actually like take some of this back to our, we shouldn't dominate them with our ways. We should take some of their cultural ways back home and improve our culture, because these people are
yeah,
kind
yeah.
on a level that we have never seen before.
One hundred
But
percent. And just like in general, something I've been thinking about, because I was talking with Dwayne Morgan, and he was like talking about other um, places in Africa that he's traveled and seen like the residue of colonization. South Africa, of course, like the British and whatnot, and then other places. It's like other countries who've colonized. Whether it's like France or German or whatnot, and recognizing, and this kind of goes back to your point that you mentioned before, where there's other like cultures and races and nationalities that are in Africa, and it's almost like everybody has returned to Africa except for us. You know what I
wow.
mean? It's like, because we've been, and I think about growing up in Toronto and how Africa was always seen as a place that you don't want to be associated with at all. It was like the
Yep.
worst insult.
Yep.
So it's almost like we were indoctrinated to be disconnected from ourselves, so we wouldn't look towards Africa for empowerment or identity. It's like, that's just, forget about it. But meanwhile, everybody and their mom, cat, and dog is like over there
Quiet.
investing, and on like a generational tip. And I'm just
Hmm.
like, wow, we're like really missing our blessings. And to add to that, it's like, yo, the people here are waiting for us. I really feel that, and I'm happy to hear that there's movements like the Year of the Return, people going to Ghana and whatnot. So there is some momentum going on, but I'm really seeing the value of that.
Yep.
And I feel like if you're black in North America or the Caribbean or whatever, like you actually need to connect. And I don't even care what country you go to, like you just have to come back and make that connection. You know what I'm saying? Like it just does something to you. It just adds like a whole new focus. And then I just started thinking about all the lies we've been told. about
all the
Africa, about
lie.
ourselves.
That's
It's
exactly
like
what I
it's
was
incredible.
thinking. Yeah, yeah, I'm so sorry. Because I'm on Twitter a lot, and I see a lot of talk about the FBA's Foundational Black Americans, and they're like, "Yo, we're not African. We're not like,
Yo, listen,
like I'm an American black person," and I'm like, "Yo, it's so sad
it's
that
a
you
it's an
think
idea. Yeah,
that disconnecting yourself from your cousins and your foundation and yourself, and like, there's
well,
no
that's
yeah, there's no way that you're black in America and you don't have any roots to Africa. Like,
yeah.
there may be multiple generations that you have to trace back, but it's ridiculous to think that you don't have African roots of some sort. Like, it's
You're
absolutely
absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
absurd.
And I think that's why like I received like so much love, you know what I mean, on TikTok, just because I'm like reaching out. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to connect. I understand that I have, interruptions in my historic timeline. There's things that I don't know, I can't connect to. And I'm hoping to make those connections. So that's why they're embracing it, because to counteract that type of narrative of I'm not African and whatnot, and it's like, yeah, that's all part of the indoctrination,
That's
you know,
colonialization.
or it's cool, yeah,
Yeah, that's Willie Lynch syndrome, like white man being like, "Yo, I don't even have to divide these people anymore. They're gonna just
there,
divide themselves. We don't even gotta.
and
We'll just
and
part."
that's why I'm saying it's like it feels like one of those things where like like a trick is being done on this side to make us look over there, when meanwhile something else is happening over here. Like
Mhm.
that's what it feels like when I'm out here. I'm like, wow, it's like everybody's investing in Africa. It's that
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
That's
crazy.
crazy. Like,
Exactly. I
why
heard.
is it that why is it that when we want to travel, it's like, okay, we want to go to like Costa Rica or Portugal, or what I mean, like all of these like random places, and Africa's never on the top of the list. But like, look, this is like, and this is like our fifth hotel, and they're all like of this standard. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So people want that, whatever, like certain aesthetic. Yeah, we got that too.
Hmm.
And it's just beautiful. And I'm still trying to like put it into words, because it's like this knowing, and where I don't have to explain myself. It's like it's understood. Like the
Hmm.
fact they know that I'm coming from Canada and I see myself as an African, that's all they need.
Yep.
That's already it. You know what I'm saying? It's just open arms from that point on. Because I get it. I feel like brothers and sisters out here will be skeptical of those coming back. We don't know the intention, because the colonization mindset that we carry, it could be problematic and could be harmful. So they gotta, like, where do you stand first? You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you're about the people then? Okay, come true.
Come
But as soon as
true.
you're like,
Yeah.
well, it's like I'm American or I'm Canadian, I'm just holding that. And it's just like, and not making the connection and seeing a
Yeah.
disconnect.
Yeah.
That's like it's almost like a mental illness, in a way.
Very much so. I was just gonna say, I'm gonna jump off that. I'm like, if you think that you're a black colonizer or a black slave master, and you're coming home to be like, "Hey, I'm black, but I'm superior to the African because
Yeah.
I come from North America. I'm a westernized black person," and you come to Africa feeling like, how rude, how goddamn disrespectful, and how colonized. So yeah, they're like, I'm the same way. Like,
Mm.
when I was in Ghana, and I was just like, yo, I'm trying to learn languages. I love it here. This is the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life, and I love it here. They
Yeah.
showed me so much love, so much. Like, they were like, yo, you're fam. Like, I was, yeah, I totally get it. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I heard this interesting thing
Mm.
said on the show recently, and they're like, yo, some of these investors, Western investors, look at Africa as the new Middle East, and they're trying to invest the way that US was investing in oil in Iraq in the last few years. I mean, the Middle East is not what it used to be. It's obviously Iraq war is
Oh
mash
my
it up.
gosh. Like,
But they're like, yo, now they're looking to Africa for the next few generations to be like, this is, they know the cobalt mines, just the human resources, and
everything.
just, yeah, as the world is decaying, they're like, yo, you know how many resources are still in Africa? Like, untapped
Yo, like
or
the abundance, like the abundance is real, and that's why. And what's crazy is like, yo, people been out here for like centuries, for decades. You know what I'm saying? Like low key, just building brick by brick. And then while we're getting this other perception of Africa and who we are, and yeah, man, it's yeah. So I don't know. I'm just going through like a lot of different kind of emotions where I'm enjoying it, like I loving it, but then the critical like eye starts kicking in, and I start scanning, I start looking around and seeing how are people actually being treated. Because no matter where I go, I'm always asking the question, like I'm always trying to figure out how are the darkest people being treated, no matter where I go. Like that's always going to be the measure for me. That's the standard. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people ain't going to like that or whatever, but anywhere I go, I'm like, okay, how are the darkest people being treated? That's what I want to know.
that's realness.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm
that's
saying? Like, if we can start there, then we good. Like, if they're blessed, okay, I know there's some momentum. There's something happening, but more oftentimes than not, it's the same perpetuated cycle that happens. You know, it's like you go to restaurants, it's like all the servers are black, and I'm like, okay, okay, if there's different
dishwashers.
races and cultures around. Like I want to see that too. I want to see someone of German descent being a server, and if you're representing, to represent. But when it's just this consistent standard, and it's like anywhere I go to, it's always that. And no, man, we got to fix up with that.
Hmm.
Because that energy is weird when you're in Africa. Like I want to see my people prosperous. You know,
Hmm.
and being in that position, rightfully so. But I will say, like, it is a powerful thing to see black faces on money. I'll say that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It is a
Oh, that's
powerful thing to
yeah.
see black faces on money.
Yes, you gotta
Like
love
this
that.
may seem like a very simple thing. People are like, what does that mean? I'm talking from like a psychological, subconscious standpoint, right? Because money is something that you need to survive. And growing up in Canada, you already know what time it is. Like I mean, now we have Viola Desmond. We got like someone to represent and whatever. But to not see yourself in a position of like power and
Value.
authority and value, yeah, like it makes a big difference. And these are all like notable people. It's just powerful to see.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like, like
the
look at this guy,
importance
man.
of
I don't even look at this guy. I don't know who he is, man, but he looked like he got a do rag under his cowboy hat. I know he's
yo,
a G. I know
no
he's a
doubt.
G.
Son got a revolver in his hand right there. Like what? And I mean, the value of this is just never ends to actually be a thing because just last week there's some fools in America that want to put Trump on the $100 bill, like it's a thing. Yeah, all these idiots and all this worship of him on so many levels. But yeah, that's another thing they want to do. So
Yeah,
like, yeah, like it is important who is on your money, and that is wonderful to see. So yeah, I was curious too. Like
yeah.
when I went to Ghana, they were like the two things you got to watch out for immediately are car accidents and malaria. And
Oh,
literally, yeah, they're like these are two of the biggest things that affect foreigners. And yeah, and literally before I even got to my hotel, I got in a car accident
oh,
in the first
oh,
hour that I was in Ghana. Yeah,
oh,
like
wow.
it was it
Okay,
wasn't
well,
it wasn't too serious, but I was like, "Oh
yeah,
shit, traffic is so bad that this shit is real." That warning that I heard was like it was on point. And
yeah.
yeah. So what I was just
Well,
wondering, like, what do you see there? Is like what's the like the common
yeah,
property? What's the hustle? What's like a dangerous thing that you got to keep an eye out
yeah.
for?
I know like concern to me, like when we landed in Windhoek, like the main city in Namibia. People were saying that there's like a high crime rates and whatnot. But I think that's how it is in any like major city that you go to. There's always going to be those kind of dynamics. I know for me, I don't know. I just try to carry myself with discretion. I know that I'm in a foreign place and I act like that. I don't go around like I know everything. I'm just observing, just reading the room energy. But there's never been any kind of like moment where I felt unsafe or anything like that. In terms of like any kind of like viruses or illnesses, nothing nothing that I have like heard of as yet. From my research, I know that like HIV is kind of high out here. But
Okay.
I mean
Wow.
that's just from like a quick research statistics. I don't know what that actually looks like on the ground or whatever, but I didn't. There wasn't any like requirements to get any kind of like vaccinations or anything like that, which I was happy for. Um, but yeah, no, things seem cool in terms of like accidents, like how you mentioned. No, like the spaces that we've been going to has pretty much been like the desert, so it's like a lot of like open area for like ever. So there's like you'd
Are
be
the roads
driving and
paved?
we're like the only like vehicle on the road, and maybe have like another car pass us every like 10 minutes or something like that. So it's a lot of like real desert. I'm just like, damn, this is not the place you want to be stranded for sure, you know.
Wow.
Um, but in between destinations and whatnot. So and our driver has been like super great. But no, everything's been pretty smooth. I haven't. The only time we saw traffic was during the funeral, for the late Sam Nuoma, Namibia's first president. So for his funeral, the roads were blocked off, and people were on the side of the road to pay the homage and whatnot. So we got to like hang out for that. But other than that, it's been pretty smooth, man. The roads have been great. Going from paved roads to the gravel roads, and our driver was calling it like the Namibian vibration, because like those roads are
Ah!
just you just feel like on a roller coaster, you know what I mean? But it's all part of the experience, and it's all love. So, like for me, I'm hoping in the next couple of days to like meet more with the people. So far, I've just been connecting with people online. I've been getting like a lot of DMs, and just people just welcome me home. They're just like, "Yo, welcome home, brother. Thank you for showing love," and they're just so appreciative. The fact that I see the connection. It's almost like they're shocked. Like they probably have a perception of us on North America where, like we don't make that association, but people like us, yeah, we make that association all day, every day.
Oh,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So,
yo, yeah. We didn't drink the colonizer Kool Aid, man. Like,
oh,
yo,
like, come on now.
I'm like, hell no. Like,
Yeah,
fam,
yeah.
yo, I'm an African, and I know what's happening. Like, that is a
Oh, come on, man. Like it's
lifelong song. Like, fam, like none
yeah,
of
and that's why I say like it's so important for us to find time to, come back and reconnect. Like other places to travel are beautiful. I've definitely seen a lot, but now, just being out here, like I want to see more countries. Like right now we're in Namibia, but then we're going to be going to like Botswana and Zimbabwe and then South Africa. So after that, like I want to see more. I want to go to Kenya. I want to go to Ethiopia. I want to go to Ghana, Nigeria, of course, and other places. To really get like the full scope of our people. I mean, we have such a limited view on Africa and who we are, because there is a connection. When I'm looking at people out here, I'm like, it feels like I'm in Jamaica. You know what I mean? Or it's more like, Jamaica's more like Africa in reality, right? So, and just the energy, like, it's like when you come across like, a brother, and it's like you never met him before, man, but it's just like, how you just click right away. You know what I'm saying? Like the handshakes, the daps, the love, and it's just like an automatic thing. And that's what I was receiving with some of the folks that I've been connecting with out here, in the hotels and whatnot, just on the energy vibe, So it's just really like reassuring. And yeah, I'm just happy that I'm on this type of vibration and able to make those connections, and just fuel the work that I'm doing. It just makes it so much more meaningful when you actually come back to the continent. So like I said, man, this
oh,
is Africa, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
I'm
you are, man.
chilling, bro.
This is
I'm
meant for
chilling.
you. You're, you're, this is your lifelong, yo, man. You
Oh
should get
yeah,
tickets every year to Africa for life for the mission that you carry, yo. You're
I have to, man. Like my next wave is like, yo, how do I bring my kids out here? How do I get my moms out here? Because I start thinking about how many people, because oftentimes we were like romanticize about Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like we know we have a connection, but how many actually make that that connection? That decision to actually come out and really, make it happen. And I know there's challenges and whatnot, but it's like, yo, this is like a therapeutic movement for me. It's not a vacation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even looking at it that way. Like it's really like for me, this is like a gift for myself, um, to really just yeah, to center myself, and just to get focused and to realign my purpose and all of that. And I'm just feeling great. And the journey's just getting started. Like we haven't even really scratched the surface yet, and it's already been blessed. Like I said, this is like the fifth hotel that we've traveled to, and they're all like equally the standard. Every room has been
That's
blessed.
fire,
Yeah,
man. You couldn't happen to a better person, man. Yo, that so happy for you out there, and yo, please keep just capturing and experiencing and enjoying the journey, yo.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, and in terms of weather-wise, it's not. I mean, it's kind of cool and like at nighttime. You know what I'm saying? During the days, probably gets a high of like 28 degrees. I don't think we've gone over 30 yet. Maybe
Hmm.
it's possible, but anyways, it's manageable, and I just been soaking up the sun, man. So, I'd be like sun tanning and just I don't know, man. The African sun just hits different,
Oh,
man. It
no
hits different. I'm
doubt.
telling
Oh,
you.
oh, you know what you're at. You know you're missing here, man. Not much, man. Same.
What's the weather like in Toronto right now?
Yeah, it's
What's
just
popping?
great. I mean, it was lightly snowing today, a little bit of rain, but it's just like 5 degrees, gray. You know, nothing
Got
to
you,
write
got you.
about.
Yeah. Well, I remember the day that I was leaving. It started snowing, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" Like you're telling me there's gonna be a snowstorm the day I'm supposed to be leaving, and things can get delayed and this and that. Luckily, everything was blessed and we're cool, and it was super peace,
That's
yo.
that's dope. That's
Yeah.
dope. Well, yeah, man. Yeah, like I don't know if anything. Yeah, I'm gonna go to MC Light on Saturday.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
represent. There's also I saw I mean, getting back to some hip hop, so we did the Africa check-in. I saw that I believe it's like March 13th. Like AZ and I know Raz Fresco and Conway the Machine is supposed to be performing at
Oh,
El
really?
Combo. So you may want to
Oh,
check that
really?
out. I believe it's March 13th. I believe so. I know that Born King is like involved with that, so you can probably shout out to him and see what's up. But yeah, MC Light, Raz Fresco, um, AZ, and Conway the Machine. I believe it's hosted by Rich Kid too.
Oh, really?
So that's gonna be pretty dope. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're gonna have to represent for the hip hop shows.
Huh.
Um, represent for me. You know what I'm saying? Since I'm on the other side of the world.
All right, all right. That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. You have to pop.
All good, man. All
Wow,
good.
wow. All right. So yeah, I don't know. There's no. I didn't even really see any.
Anything in hip hop news?
Nothing really burning. Nothing. A lot of the same old shit. Some sad news. Um, well, yeah.
Oh, I heard.
Really, very quickly. I don't even want to talk about it too much because it's really heartbreaking. But I do want to acknowledge it. There's a rapper in I think Houston. I think it was in Texas. Who got
I
got
saw
killed at the
that,
car
man.
wash and his
Yeah,
5-year-old daughter too, man. And very tragic. Like very, very heartbreaking. And like no,
man.
no, not hip hop, not black culture, not good. Like may that never happen.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? And that's like such a hard beast to like work through. You know what I mean? Like that type of energy. Because I don't know anything about this artist, but I can imagine. You're with your child and trying to do something positive and whatnot, and lifestyles catch up. It's definitely tragic because it impacts everybody. Like I don't even know this individual, but I'm impacted by it. You know what I mean? Because I got kids. You know what I mean? And that's just like such a tragic way to go. You know,
Yeah.
innocent lives and all that, man. It's
Yeah,
man,
yeah, I saw some of the video too, and he was running. You couldn't really tell what was going on. It was a lot of chaos, but I saw some of the, and he was running, 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 and they were saying that he was trying to get away so that she was not a victim, but these people actually
right, for
got
sure.
him and then like actually targeted her, like specifically. Yeah,
Wow.
and it's very tragic. So yeah, may God bless her little soul.
Rest
Yeah,
in
right,
peace.
for sure.
Yeah. Um. Something else that I saw when I was scrolling was Angie Stone
Yeah, yeah.
passed away. I'm not sure like what happened with that, but it sounds like there's some conspiracy stuff going on, and you know, what I mean, she was talking on some new things, and all of a sudden she's gone, and you know, I haven't really dug too deep into that to get a perspective, but you know, these are things that I feel like it's worth exploring to see like what's up because there's always some weird stuff happening, you know. So I don't know what your take is on that.
I didn't quite see the conspiracy stuff. Yeah, I saw a little bit of something. I think about something she was talking about a few months ago. I didn't get to research it too
Yeah.
much, but I did see that she died in a car accident, and apparently it was right after a concert. I think it was in Atlanta, and it sounded like a pretty bad car accident where apparently her vehicle flipped a few times, and then an 18 wheeler crashed into her van. Yeah, it
Oh
was
my
really sad, and
God.
it was her family that had told that story. So yeah, it was like a sad death, and yeah, like, she was 63, 64 years old, and yeah, shout out to Angie Stone. So yeah, um, just rough. Um, but yeah, she did a thing, made her mark, and yeah, her name definitely will live on in R&B history. So yeah, it's just sad that came to an end so soon. Yeah, yeah, I think that I don't know if nothing major besides that really. A couple random lawsuits, couple random things. You last thing, maybe yeah, we can wrap up soon. But are you listening to music there? Is this frozen? Oh no, it's frozen. I thought it was frozen. Anyways, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to log back in, so I can wait here for a little bit. See if we get Logic back. But you know what we do. Representing for Stolen from Africa, Reminisce show. Uh, let me see if I can. That might be it though. This brother is in Africa, 12 p.m. And it's Mindbender Supreme. I love you. Carrying the traditions of Sankofa because sometimes you got to go back to collect what we started. All right. I love you. Logic will check in later. Peace, Logic. Peace, homie. Take care out in Africa. And Mindbender loves you.